There are more opportunities to make money as a violinist than there has been 10 years ago. I'm going to break down exactly how I earn money as a violinist throughout the course of the year. Also, one more thing, it's important to note that I sometimes do these all simultaneously throughout the year, and sometimes I leave one area out just because of the time of year. So the first thing I do is I perform, which is the obvious one. I perform with my violin, and that can vary from orchestra playing, chamber music playing, solo recital playing. So I do get paid for these engagements. In terms of how much, it depends on each contract, and specifically it depends on who's actually paying me and the contract and what the terms of the contract are. So it gets a little bit more detailed oriented in that sense. But yeah, performing is obviously one of the best ways to earn money because you are live in person and people have a need for live music, and it continues to be a very valuable thing, and you would be surprised how much people will pay for live music. People want an outing to the orchestra. People want an outing to a chamber music concert. So keep that in mind, that there are ways to perform in person, whether it's through an orchestra, whether it's a private organization, or whether you're organizing it yourself. And an asterisk to that particular point, don't be limited to just your genre. That's something that I had to learn a little bit later after I graduated from my undergrad. And I actually had the benefit of taking 2 years off before my master's degree. And I think that was one of the best decisions I've ever had to make for myself. And I believe I was maybe one of 3 people who didn't go straight into a master's. Usually if you do a bachelor's degree, you kind of are in shape to play at your top level. So then you just go straight into your master's. I decided not to do that because I wanted to figure out what the market demands of me. So if I'm in New England, for instance, this is where I'm based, I want to figure out what people are hiring. Are people hiring for private events? Are people hiring for chamber music? Are people hiring in the classical music area? Are people hiring in the Caribbean music era? You'd be surprised how much music I've played outside of classical music that has paid me really nicely. So don't be limited to just classical music. If you are a classical musician watching this video, I encourage you to branch out to different genres, explore and connect with different like-minded musicians to make amazing music. The next thing is recording sessions. I think this is a very valuable area where musicians and violinists can make a good ton of money. If you're not based in New York or LA, where a lot of those recording studios and recording sessions are, there are ways for you to get involved in the recording scene by connecting with local artists through social media, or just connecting with the local record label saying, hey, I'm a violinist, I just moved to the area, and I just want to introduce myself. If any artist, whether it's country, R&B, bluegrass, whatever, classical, if they need a violinist, here's my number, here is my portfolio, and I want to just introduce myself. And recording sessions are a lot of fun because you have all the gadgets, you got the microphones and you got the earpiece, and you're kind of listening to the conductor, or you're listening to someone who's working as an engineer in the booth. It's actually a really cool environment that during my undergrad I really didn't have any experience in, but as I became a professional, I connected with people and I worked with fellow recording artists, and it's a whole lot of fun. It also keeps you on your toes because a lot of those recording sessions, you're given new music on the spot the day of, and it kind of keeps you sharp in terms of your sight reading. So if you're looking for something that's engaging, recording sessions can be a great area for you to explore. And in the same light as performances and recording sessions, you could also do private events, and you can do weddings, you can do private corporation. Sometimes though, it's really hard to schedule those gigs. And if you're starting out, it's really hard to make those connections in the industry. But the sponsor of today's video, Gig Salad, actually helps you out with that. And if you're looking to book more gigs and grow your audience, whether you perform solo, as part of a string quartet, or with a band, Gig Salad actually makes it easier for violinists to connect with event planners across the US and Canada for weddings, birthdays, parties, corporate events. It's like an unlimited list. And I've used Gig Salad before, and I'm actually going to be releasing a video later on in the year on how easy it is to use Gig Salad and book your first gig. So make sure you subscribe and like the video. And with Gig Salad's strong Google presence, you get better exposure to planners searching for your talent. So the full service platform lets you set availability and preferences to get only the leads you want and makes messaging, quoting, and booking a breeze. And the best of all is that clients pay upfront. So no more of you trying to hunt down the client for you to get paid. Everything in Gig Salad is in-house. The client pays through the system and you get paid right away in full. Very, very important, so that way you can maintain your career as a musician. So head over to Gig Salad to create your free profile online right now. I'm going to leave a link down in the description below for you to take a look at, for you to create an account, and for you to book your first gig. And if you do book your first gig, leave a comment down below. We're gonna celebrate with you, okay? So if you book your first gig through Gig Salad, leave a comment down below. I'm gonna comment right away. Next up on the ways I make a living as a musician is teaching. Teaching is actually one of the biggest income streams for me, and I love teaching. Back in the day when I was in my undergrad, I actually really didn't want to teach. I wanted to do more of the performance track, but as I got more familiar with teaching, it actually became a relief, because I was afraid that I would teach bad technique to the next generation of musicians. But to be honest, I kind of just like punched fear in the face and went straight into teaching and learned as I went. And of course, I used the expertise of my previous teachers and mentors to help me guide my teaching philosophies. But at the end of the day, it is a real joy to teach. I love teaching. It's a great way to earn money as a musician, and also create change. And that's actually another thing that I want to kind of bring up very quickly, is that it could look and feel sleazy by asking for the sale. You know, essentially you're a salesperson if you're going to be a private teacher opening up your own studio. But if you know that you're providing value to the student and you're confident in that value and you have the resume for it, then it's actually going to be very easy for you to create an income stream by teaching, whether it's actually applying for a teaching job at a local music school in your area. And a lot of my mentors encouraged me that I should become a teacher. So that is very important. Teaching, really, really good stuff. And last but not least, YouTube. YouTube has become a partial income stream for me. And that is actually throughout the course of the year. Now, of course, there are different months where I make more and make less depending on the season, like in the Northern Hemisphere, in North America, everybody is outside playing and nobody's really watching YouTube. And that is completely okay. And YouTube, for me and my niche in violin education, comes in different seasons. So right now, as of this video, it's recording back to school season. So we're in August and everybody's getting ready to go back to school, trying to get their violin rosin, get violin outfits, music, and trying to get everything sorted out. So of course there's going to be probably an uptick in views, but during, June, July, and maybe halfway through August, not really a lot happening. So within the YouTube branch, I also have little tiny branches. So what is the main point of this video? The point is that if you want to have a sustainable career in music, it's really healthy to have a diversified way of making money. So it's not just about performing, and it's not just about teaching. You are dipping your toes in literally every single area of music. So there are moments where I'm teaching and performing and YouTubing all in the same month. That's going to happen, right? And then there are moments where I'm just going to be performing and I'm going to be doing YouTube. That's okay too. That's a lot of my summer. I'm performing a lot of private events and I'm also doing YouTube. The whole point of this is that you can make a career of yourself as long as you are really strategic, as long as you are smart. And with the help of services like Gig Salad, it makes it easier for musicians to help have a sustainable career while also creating value for others. And again, make sure to click the link in Gig Salad down in the description below. I want to know if you booked your first gig on Gig Salad, okay? Let's celebrate together in the community. If you see someone, let's all celebrate with this person, okay? All right? Catch you guys in the next one.